Good morning, everybody. It's your buddy Chopping On coming at you with the NFL rundown, position by position, tight player pools, red circle, yellow circle. All these discussions will be laid out in these video series. The first one is free. That's right. I will give you the first one for free. We're going to go through quarterbacks today. We're brought to you by DFSArmy.com, one-stop shopping, all things daily fantasy sports. So get on down into the comments section, click the link, become a VIP, use coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, and get that 20% off discount that keeps you a VIP for life. Very, very simple. Like, subscribe to the video while you're down there. What we're going to do is we're going to take the next level of what we were doing last week, which was tightening up a player pool, showing you that building from a conservative base works, and then you add in speculative plays as you increase the risk and play more tournaments. We start off close to the vest and we start to expand as we play crazier and crazier and crazier contests in DFS. That is one way to build a winning approach, and that's my goal as content editor, coach, contributor, whatever. Small ball, a legend inside DFSArmy.com is to teach you to become a better player. And a lot of times we have to start with the fundamentals. So let's go through the quarterbacks today. And then I will lock everything else up for the week. VIP only. Got to be a VIP. Got to be a VIP. You've got to get the coaching. You've got to get the interaction. You've got to get the feedback that is going to tell you whether or not you're on the right track. I put out about 11 lineups last week in 100-man leagues. We cashed in 4 of them, deep into the cash, almost doubled up our money, which is a strong start to what I'm trying to show the regular VIPs. I'm trying to show them that you can play several different lineups with a tight core, and you can scatter out so that you're not making that one final decision. Do I play this guy or that guy? Play them both. Build another lineup, play them both. Put them in the right contests, play close to the vest in your cash games, play a little bit riskier in your tournaments, build lineups that are designed to do both. I can show you how to do all of that stuff as a VIP inside DFSArmy.com. So, first things first, we already talked this week in this free article, Winning Fantasy Football on a Budget, and we identified several key lineup structures, several key budgetary plans. And then what we did was we kind of recapped the 100-man challenge, and we dove into games to watch, the big total games. We have 8 games over a 50-point total. Let me check really, really quick. I don't believe the Pittsburgh-Tennessee game. No, it was at 47. Of course, if you're just now finding out, it is offline. That game will not be played this week due to the COVID outbreak on the Tennessee Titans, so don't roster Derrick Henry. That said, we will focus on a few of these games. A lot of these are a little lopsided. They've got big point spreads. It's going to make it super easy to find our defenses. But they've also got high totals, which is going to be one side's going to do very, very well. And if the other side can't keep it close, these games might not hit the over. So you're going to want to figure out which games to attack later in the week as we go. Players to build around, kind of told you a little bit of what I'm looking for, but here's specifically what I do when it comes to the quarterbacks. I kick off the main slate games or the later slate games, right? And the midnight game here was the Tennessee Titans game. Our research station extraordinaire decided to put that off to the side on its own game so it was easy to kick off of all of your charts if that game did in fact cancel, which it did. We're left with, 13 games or so? And we're going to scroll over here to the Vegas lines section. And the first thing that I want quarterbacks that are at home, favored, and implied to score a bunch of points, over about 24 points. Why? Those 3 factors historically lead to a quarterback that pays off his salary. Now, there are a couple of caveats in there. If you're looking at the DraftKings side, you don't typically want a super expensive quarterback. The 3-point bonus for a 300-yard game makes cheap quarterbacks very, very viable. So a $9,600 Lamar Jackson, let's look for a cheaper option. Over on FanDuel, that number's about $8,000. You can handle some $8,000 quarterbacks, Russ Wilson, whatnot, but you can't. You're typically not wanting to go over that number because the higher you get over $8,000 or $9,000 respectively on the websites, the harder it gets to pay off that salary. So you got to know that going in. He might check all of the other boxes, but then he misses that high price salary box, and all of a sudden it makes it hard for him to hit value. Another one is QBR, or whatever efficiency rating you want to use. Quarterbacks that throw a ton don't necessarily increase their chances to hit value. It takes an efficient quarterback to hit value. Those are kind of the things that I look at, but I can quickly narrow it down by just looking at these basic three numbers first. I would take the spread and I would sort that. Why isn't it going to do it for me? That's going to piss me off. We're going to have to figure out why that won't organize down into ascending. There it goes. Ascending order. I want the big favorites up front. And then as we go down, because I want favored quarterbacks, correct? Favored quarterbacks at home. And I want them implied to score over 24, 25 points. Looks like they all are. All of the favorites except for, Phillip Rivers in Indianapolis. So we can toss him to the turd pile. Won't even need to use him this week except in deeper GPP narratives where you think Phillip Rivers can win the slate with a combination of one of his receivers or, one of his running backs, whatever. But he's got to get over all of these other guys. These guys are all in play. So Lamar Jackson is not at home, and he's expensive. So really, he's favored. He's a great quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he's favored. He's implied to score a lot of points. Those two boxes he does check. He's probably this year not the most efficient quarterback in the world. Probably an iffy box to check there. He's on the road, don't check the box, and he's over $9,000, don't check the box. I'm not going to say you can't use Lamar Jackson this week. I'm saying save him for tournaments. He's a blue circle player. If you don't know what that means, look back into my videos last week. He's a blue circle player. Jared Goff, home. Implied to score a ton of points. Big spread. Should have a decent game. They've got a running back committee mess where they're not even really got a Gurley where they hand the ball off to him anyway. Goff can be efficient. Still an iffy metric for him. But he's under $8,000 on FanDuel. Right? I guess this wasn't even the DraftKings salary. I thought I saw a DK there. But now you're sitting there looking at a cheaper quarterback that's home favored, implied to score a lot of points, and can be fairly efficient. This is one of the leaders in the clubhouse for one of your cash game QBs this week. You won't hear it talked about too much around the industry, I don't think, because people are going to be focused on, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, etc. Right? So let's go check him. That's going to be our leader in the clubhouse. Let's just put him there right now. Red circle, maybe a yellow circle play. I mean, yeah, Jared Goff can put up some turds, no doubt. Okay, and we want a consistent quarterback. But right now, the situation presents very, very well for one Jared Goff. Patty Mahomes, 8,700, touch expensive. Not that I'm going to really let that get in my way. He can smash the slate. 25 implied points. That's a little bit low. That's not him. 29.8. 29.8 implied points. Favorite home. Tom Brady. Cheaper, right? Under $8,000. Favored home, implied to score some points. It's another decent option, believe it or not. And Tom Brady's a fairly efficient quarterback. Russ Wilson out on the road. He's favored on the road, 29.8, 6.5 points, right? $9,000 though. He's in the same boat Lamar Jackson's in. He's expensive and he's on the road. Everything else checks the box just fine for him. If you want to play him, that's fine. I would tell you, save him for more of your GPP type stuff. The only thing, especially with, the backup running back out there, if Chris Carson sits out, I don't know how they're going to handle that situation. I don't know how that's going to change. Maybe Russ throws a lot more because they don't have anybody reliable to hand the ball off to. But maybe it throws things a little bit out of whack. It inserts a question. Questions are not good for cash games. Questions are great for tournaments. Guess right, win the booty. In cash games, guess wrong, don't even hit the top 50%, and you were stupid. Your whole goal in a cash game is only to hit the top half. Why take risk? You only get paid $2 on the dollar when you hit a double up anyway. I don't care if you ran away with the thing and would have won the Millie Maker with that lineup. Taking risk in a cash game is stupid. It's unnecessary. Scrolling down a little bit more, Dak is at home. He's obviously going to be favored, implied to score a ton of points. The only thing holding him, and he's 8,200. Okay, now we're talking. I've got Dak at 8,200. I've got Jared Goff at 7,500. Maybe a little Tom Brady at 7,300. Now I've got these are three quarterbacks. I could be okay. I'd be way more comfortable with Dak this year than the other two. But if I needed the salary, I guess I could go down a little bit. But being that they're close enough in salary, it's early enough in the year, we've probably still got plenty of value across the slate. Dak might be the leader in the clubhouse now. So this is how you gotta kind of wiggle your way through the slate. Drew Brees on the road, not very efficient this year. No. I know he's favored. I know he's supposed to score some points, but no. It's a risk. Tournaments. Deshaun Watson at home, 7,800. Now here we go again. You got a quarterback with a pretty decent floor. He has rushing legs. 29-point total, 3.5 favorite. It's not a big favorite, but it is favored, and he is at home, and he's under 8,000. He's in line to hit value. He's maybe not as efficient as he should be with like a DeAndre Hopkins as his receiver, right? That hurt. David Johnson's, But the situation presents itself well to hitting value. The cheaper price presents itself well to hitting value. If you went, I would consider Deshaun Watson kind of a yellow circle play. My red circle play is Dak, probably Jared Goff. My yellow circle play, probably a Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, right? Kyler Murray out on the road. Favored, implied to score, but out on the road. Strong rushing floor. I won't fault you if you like Kyler Murray. I will fault you if you make him your lead cash game quarterback on the slate this week. He's a little bit more of a risk. He's a little bit more of a tournament play this week. Put him in your hybrid type of competitions, the ones that aren't exactly built for cash. They need a little bit of upside to get. He's that type of play, yellow circle type of play. He's that type of play where he gets a little bit of that upside. He's got a strong floor, but he gets a little bit of that upside. He's got a little bit of risk with him. Those are the types of players that I save for 100-man leagues, for small GPPs. I can put them in a lineup if I'm using my ladder strategy, which you can look that up on the internet too. But if you ladder strategy where I'm putting, say, 80% of my money in this lineup in cash type games and triple ups and some slight risk contests, and then I'm going to put about 10% of it into a GPP, Kyler Murray can be a GPP quarterback. He can win you a GPP. So I'm looking for that blended, hybridized situation. Kyler Murray's a good quarterback for that. Not the greatest quarterback this week. I'd probably still go back to Dak. But he's a good quarterback if you're building, say, 4, 5, 6, 7 lineups and you need to get a couple of them off of the main dude. The main dude might be Dak. It might be Jared Goff in 2 or 3 lineups if I built 10, 2 or 3 or 4 lineups each of those. And then I take a couple that are a little bit off kilter. I might do a Lamar. I might do a Russell Wilson. I might do, a Kyler Murray. I might do a Josh Allen who's next. Buffalo, Las Vegas might shoot out. 52 game total, 27 for either side pretty much, and a 3-point favorite to Josh Allen on the road. I don't like that he's on the road. I don't like that he's $8,600. But I do like the fact that he has a rushing floor. He's very efficient this year. He has weapons, right? I do like that. And that's going to make him safer. What makes him not so safe is on the road. Now, I'm not going to throw everything out because he's on the road and he only fails to check one of, say, 5 or 6 boxes. He's still probably the one road QB I'd say, okay, if you want to put him, in your cash games, I can see it. But this is basically where we're going. Joe Burrow, is he favored? Joe Burrow's throwing a ton. That's a perfect example of volume ain't necessarily cutting it because he's throwing about the most in the league. And he's not up here with the other guys because he's not efficient yet, being a rookie. But cheaper quarterback. Now, see, for 7,400, I'd rather take probably Jared Goff at home, 7,500 versus the 7,400. This is the thing that you're kind of going to go back and forth through. You could even talk to me about Nick Foles at 7,100, but I'd probably keep him a little bit more of a tourney play. So this is basically quarterbacks. We've got 3. Jared Goff, maybe Tom Brady, maybe Josh Allen, but Dak Prescott, Jared Goff are the 2 that I'm really leaning on this week. And this is what we're going to do for each and every position as we go down the list for this week. We're going to build 5 or 6 more lineups, throw them all out there. You got to get down in there and to be a VIP. Use that coupon code CHOP, CHOP. and unlock the rest of the videos. This has been QB Rundown. Peace out.